Welcome to my channel. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa. Tomungo Shoku Sonandazwa. You remain Igbo. What we have in the past few days is a serious attack on the Yoruba territory. And to my surprise, the new Olubadan of Ibadan has stepped in, vowing that Sunday Igboho must meet Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because it seems that the only man that has the perfect and the lasting solution in tackling and clipping the wings of these Fulani militias who are overrunning all the Yoruba towns and villages is Sunday Igboho. What do we know about Sunday Igboho and Olubadan? When Ladoja was the governor of Oyo State, Sunday Igboho used to be one of his security aides. You can see the picture over there, which means that Sunday Igboho has always been a trusted ally of Ladoja. For this reason, despite the terrorism charges, the criminal charges against Sunday Igboho can walk freely in Nigeria while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in incarceration, because Nnamdi Kanu's traditional kings and rulers and governors betrayed him. That is just the difference. Alright? But for Sunday Igboho's case, people like very top rankings are backing him. The last time we saw Sunday Igboho go to the Oni of Ife Palace. So, do you think that Sunday Igboho will eventually get the support of Tinubu? Yes or no? Drop it in the comment section. But I will tell you my own view and my own speculations as we move on. For me, I recall perfectly within the period of 2017, 18, 19, 20, when the Fulani militias, when they struck within the axis of Igboho, a community in Oyo State, within the axis of Iseyin, within the axis of Iragbiji, they overrun all those villages, all those sacred forests, taking it up, grazing their cattle, chasing people away from their ancestral farmlands. A man rose up, and that man is who we popularly know today as Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho rallied the Yorubas. He spoke to their sentiment. He talked about the ancient Oyo Empire, how the Oyo kingdom in those days chased back the Fulanis, how they stopped them from moving from Ilorin when Afoja betrayed the Alafin of Oyo, as to how the Ibadan people warriors, how they marched a march, and the very famous warrior who has a statue placed in Oyo State in Ibadan today, whom I cannot recall his name, but that warrior was the one who was the brain behind the strategy in defeating the Fulani jihadists back then in 1829 or thereabout. Today, Igboho has risen again. Thankfully, Buhari was unable to unalive him. If Buhari had the opportunity to probably catch Igboho, he wasn't ready to imprison him. Buhari wanted to just unalive Igboho, because the level of attack DSS went for in his residence in Oyo State back then wasn't to catch him alive. They wanted to unalive him. But based on African voodoo, or maybe Igboho had an internal, maybe he had an intel that nudged him, they gave him, information to flee, he escaped. And from there, he went to Benue. And from Benue, he was caught. However, he was not extradited back or repatriated back to Nigeria. He was in Benue until Tinubu came on board. And in short time, Tinubu allowed him, and they released him, and he went back to Germany, where he is a citizen. And today, Igboho is back. And I think with everything that I've said, you will understand that the path Tinubu is actually towing, he is not against Igboho. No. Because if he is against Igboho, Igboho would not have the freedom to go and visit Oni. He wouldn't have the freedom to go and visit Olubadan of Ibadan. He wouldn't have the freedom to go and visit other top kings in the Yoruba land. The only king he has not been to currently as we speak is the Alaafin of Oyo. When he eventually goes to the Alaafin of Oyo, then you must understand what is going on. But we know why he will not go to Alaafin of Oyo, because as an Ibadan man and as a warrior that Sunday Igboho is, he doesn't want to bow to Alaafin of Oyo. He would rather bow to Olubadan and Oni of Ife. So you will see that if the attacks continue, Igboho might eventually be given a position of a commando. Yes, indeed. Because we know that Ojúbọ̀rọ̀ ò gbọmọ lọ́wọ́ èkùrọ́. A man who wants to fetch water from a rock must not look at the mouth of the axe. In a nutshell, what am I trying to say? You need a gino. You know what they say, gino? A stubborn head. To checkmate, to return these marauders back to where they come from. To chase them back. I mean, I saw some Kwara indigenes who are who are now in Lagos. You know, they ran a protest yesterday calling on Tinubu that Tinubu help our people back home. If it will need you to reinstate Sunday Igboho as the chief commanding officer of Amotekun, do it. They said if you need to reinforce the Amotekun, do it. If it is just 1,000 Amotekun that will have rifle, give it to them. Because the Kwara people are not comfortable with the Sojoji who are coming to, protect them. Because they see them as friends and allies of the Bororos, who are the Fulani militias. And I have seen how vocal Sunday Igboho has become. And they say that if you don't le Latin raki konju, now where we're strong. It is when the things get hard that you find a man. You don't call yourself a man when you have not faced battles. They know that Igboho has seen battles. Are you against Igboho being reinstated? Should I? Of course not. Because I know my own village will soon be under siege. If the Yorubas fail to cry out for the right thing to be done, and it is not by soldiers coming in, because we can see that the soldiers have failed in so many places across this country. Take, for instance, the Middle Belt. The Yaliwata incidents that happened, where people said that the soldiers who were assigned to man that territory, they left an hour before those bandits came. They left with an excuse that they received a distress call. The attack lasted for over 90 minutes. They came back 45 minutes when the bandits have left. So these are all suspicious moves. At this stage where the country is, going, people with with critical minds, with logical sense, are not supposed to be open-minded when it comes to the army anymore. Because the same thing was what they lodged in Kwara, that when the bandits were about to strike, the army that were positioned to protect them left as well, like 30 minutes earlier, that they got a call. So everybody is smelling something fishy. You can perceive something fishy, like, could it be that these guys are in connivance with the bandits? But that is a discussion for another day. Because I know that very soon that breeze, that very wild breeze will blow and the foul yash will be revealed. Because there is an expose coming from the AES Alliance of the Sahel, where they said that some governors of Borno, some northern Kano politicians, some former military generals are in connivance. Some northern alliance of Tinubu are in alliance with the bandits. But are we ready for that discussion? I don't think so. We're not. But we will eventually. On this issue of Olubadan, I know that Olubadan will want to broker that conversation. I know that Olubadan will take Sunday Igboho to Tinubu. Because the very day Olubadan was coronated, the first thing he demanded was the Ibadan state. And we all saw how the northern oligarchs, how they reacted. we are all looking at Olubadan because the Olubadan, this Ladoja, has been a former governor. He has been through the system. He understands how the oligarchs held everybody together. And I know he wouldn't want to look or under his watch see the Oyo state fall into the Fulani hands, just as Ilori has. I know he wouldn't. So for that reason, a man who has the courage to openly say that Tinubu for an Ibadan state, Tinubu give us Ibadan state. Nobody has said that. No king has got the courage to say that. No king. No king. Because he knows the relationship he has with Tinubu. And these things that he's asking are not overreaching. It's not him overreaching. No. It's not trespassing. If all the Nigerian traditional kings want to be patriotic to their people, protect the interests of their people, well, let alone they are all expected to be asking for state police. That's it. The Obi of Onitsha should have said, we need state police. Oni of Ife should have told Tinubu, the Yoruba kingdom cannot be placed under siege. We cannot return to the early 19th centuries when the Fulanis were running rampage, doing their Islamic jihad. That will not be allowed. Give us state police. I mean, these are not overreaching requests. No. When they fail to do this, they are betraying us. Even though we know that the Sultan might not ever ask for this. He might never ask for this. And that's the reality. Because if anybody should be crying, singing the chorus of state police today, it should have been the Sultan. Right from the era of Buhari. He should have been the one telling Buhari, my son, give us state police. These boys, these bandits, these janjaweeds that are running rampage, not allowing my sons and daughters to go to farm, give us state police. You would have said it on behalf of Zamfara. You would have said it on behalf of Borno. You would have said it on behalf of Katsina. But what did he do? If he demands for it, will they arrest him? It is not enough to say that insecurity must end. Proffer a solution by demanding the right thing, which is state police. But they will not. But they will not. So the ones who are in the south, the kings, look at the tour of TV. The very brave man called the tour of TV. I cannot forget that man. Whatever man that man is today, may God continue to protect him. The gods of the land. Because we know how he stood firmly when the issue of Yeletawa happened. Even before the issue of Yeletawa. How he challenged the Mietiala. How he challenged Tinubu face to face, Korokoro. He told him, Tinubu, this one no be issue of farmer headers. So this one, they won't collect land. And when the Mietiala said, don't pour all the blames on all the Fulani. He said, the Fulanis know the good and bad. Bring out the bad ones, let us persecute them. Otherwise, we'll continue to generalize. Everybody was shocked. The tour of TV openly said, we want state police. In that same meeting, what did the emirs, those that have the interest of the Fulanis, what did they say? The leaders of the Mietiala, what did they say? They did not support the state police. They only said, we will stop night grazing. Nukwa, we can go back to town and villages. Let's listen to Tour of TV again. Let's listen to it again. Because this is war for our very existence.
I have grave concern about the misinformation and misrepresentation of the security crisis in Benue State. Your Excellencies, it is not herder farmers clashes. It's not communal clashes. It's not repressor attacks or skirmishes. It is this misinformation that has led to suggestions such as remain tolerant, negotiate for peace, learn to live with your neighbors. What we are dealing with here in Benue is a calculated, well-planned, full-scale genocidal invasion and land-grabbing campaign by herder terrorists and bandits, which has been on for decades and is worsening every year. Wrong diagnosis will always lead to wrong treatment. So we are dealing with something far more sinister than we think about. It's not learning to live with your neighbors. It is dealing with a war. The second apprehension, Your Excellency, we have is the politicization of the crisis. Politicians in the states are busy politicizing the crisis, passing blames instead of joining hands to address the crisis. We hear there are some politicians who will even prefer that the crisis should worsen so that it will be a basis for declaration of a state of emergency in Benue State. Your Excellency, this is unfortunate, and any politicians that prays for more people to die for such a project is against the wishes of the people of Benue State. Appeal. Your Excellency, Benue State has made a lot of sacrifices to keep this country united. Many of our people died during the Civil War. We paid the supreme price for this country to keep this country united. Why should we be treated like this? This, what you have come to condole us, is just one in a series of several massacres in this state. What has Benue State done to merit what we are going through? We appeal to you to end the genocide going on in Benue State and the insecurity in all parts of Nigeria. We know you are capable of doing it, sir.